All right. My picks weren't that great last week. I did pick, I think at the time when I was doing my picks, I did my picks early. The Chargers over the Texans was an upset, I thought. But then later on, everybody had all the money was on the Chargers. So the Texans became the underdog in that game. But anyways, let's move on from that. I forget who I even picked last week. You can go look at my previous video if you want to look at it. I'm sure it wasn't great, but I do know at least my team won, and I picked them to win. I wasn't totally impressed by them. I thought their defense did their job, but at the same time, the Packers' offense was dealing with injuries. I believe they were missing 3 of their top receivers. So I don't know how legit the Eagles really are. We're going to find out in this second I'm not wild card, my bad. Second divisional, second round. We're going to call it second round. It's a divisional round. It's the NFL divisional round. Anyways, we have before I move on, I just want to congratulate every team that's here. The final 8 team, 2 of these teams will be in the Super Bowl, obviously. But to get to this point, it is very difficult. Obviously, all these teams have been playing great football. And, credit to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions for getting the number 1 seed. They had the bye week, but they had to fight to get that bye week. Anyways, let's move on. And congratulations again to the final 8 teams left in the playoffs. Great, my mucus in my throat. You might have just heard my voice change. I have very bad allergies. Anyways, let's move on. Let me just... Alright, I'm not a good speaker at all. But anyways, let's just do picks. I give speeches as well as Joe Biden. But I'm not running the country. I don't think he's running the country either at the moment. Anyways, stop with the jokes. That's actually serious. It's a serious issue. But anyways, let's move on. We have the Houston Texans going to Kansas City. Kansas City's, of course, had their bye week. They rested their starters against the Broncos, which looks like a genius decision right now because the Broncos, they didn't make it very far in the playoffs. They did come out with an opening drive against the Buffalo Bills, but after that, it was all Buffalo for the most part. I think in the first half it was still kind of close, but the second half the Bills took over in the Broncos game. But anyways, yeah. I can't pick the upset in this. The Texans have a defense. You can get to the Super Bowl with the defense. The Giants did it that 1 year. Not 1 year. You could even technically say 2 years. That it wasn't really like the Giants' offense that was great. They did have a running game. The Giants did have a running game with trying to think who that player was, but they had a pretty solid running game, and their offensive line was pretty good that year too. But mostly the Giants' defense was the reason why they won 2 Super Bowls a couple decades ago. I think it is now. Yeah, it's been 2 decades. Holy crap! Time flies, right? Not for the Giants fans. They've been suffering. And despite them being a divisional rival, I didn't wish that upon anybody. I probably can't wish everybody could be happy in football because someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. And I have to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. It's very hard to play in Kansas City. I don't believe in rust, personally. Some people will say when teams upset teams, there's like, oh, it's rust and stuff like that. I think you got to credit the teams when that happens. I don't think the upset happens this game. I think Texans still have an offensive problem. But if the Texans defense plays insane, it is very possible for them to make the upset. I think it would be very close though. It'd probably be like a field goal or something like that. I'm not picking that. I don't think anybody's picking that. I think almost everybody's picking the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sure Houston fans, some of them might be so loyal they'll pick their team to win this game, but realistically, you got to go with the team you think is better overall, and I think the Chiefs are a better rounded team on the offense and defensive side of the ball. So I'm going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. And it's very hard to win in what's their stadium called? I forget. Well, it's very hard to win in Chiefs Kingdom. Let's call it like that. Anyways, that is the Saturday, January 18th, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time game. I don't know. West Coast would be 1:30. I don't know exactly where Missouri is located. Would that be 2:30 for them or something? I don't know. I'm bad with time zones. Anyways, let's move on. The NFL divisional round again, whatever. We have the Washington Redskins at the Detroit Lions. In this game, I'm going to take the home team. I'm pretty confident in the Lions in this game. I think the Lions win by about 14 points. It could be closer. Maybe Washington's going to shock people again. I mean, it wasn't really much of a shock that they upsetted the. I don't know if it was that an upset. I don't know who was favored in that game. It was very close over which way it was favored. It might have been Tampa just because they were at home. But yeah, I don't see Washington going into Detroit and winning. I'd be very shocked if that happened. I mean, anything's possible. I wouldn't predict it. Detroit's had a great year this year. I did look on that one website that tells me the strength of schedule. I think they were ranked 18th. But, well, I mean, that doesn't mean much or something like that. There's a lot of variables that go behind that. And also, that's still not like a super easy schedule. They still had a fight to get their 15-2 record. I forget, that's a 17-game season. Their 15-2 record, they fought hard to get that record. And, yeah, it is what it is. I think the Lions win this game. I think by at least 2 touchdowns. Maybe some people think that's crazy because I think that the Redskins are playing really great football right now. And they're playing pretty solid, but it's like the Lions they're coming off the bye week. I mean, who's really picking the Redskins to win this game? You got to think that it's got to be mostly Washington fans. Is anybody that's not a Washington fan picking the upset? I'm not going to be one of those people. I'm going to go Detroit. I think Detroit's the better team. Detroit has one of the best offenses in the league. And also, again, if you look at stats, you say, well, they're actually ranked here on the offensive side overall, or the defensive side here. There's a lot of variables that go behind that. I don't even know why I've been looking at the numbers lately. You can't that never gives you the whole story. I think it's because the fact is, one of the websites ranked the Vikings, I think, the 30th hardest schedule, which means they had an easy schedule, and that's probably why they have the 14-3 record. But again, I don't even know how they go by how tough your schedule really is, so why am I looking into that? I don't know. I guess it's because sometimes nerves gets into me. I just want to see, like, hey, how does this stat line up with this stat or that stat? It's all silly at the end of the day. I got the Lions. Let me move on. Next game, I am nervous about this game. I wasn't nervous about the Green Bay Packers game because I didn't really respect Green Bay Packers for the fact that I knew that they were dealing injuries, and I knew they were real injuries. They weren't like made up, like, oh yeah, Jordan Love's elbow's messed up or something like that. I felt like that was a real injury. I didn't feel like they were exaggerating just to like catch the Eagles off guard or something. But he had a really bad game, and I think a lot of that he was banged up. He was missing 3 of his receivers, Jordan Love. The Eagles' defense played great in that game, but I don't know how great our defense really is. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, like statistically, they say the Eagles have the number 1 ranked defense in the league. But again, there's a lot of variables that go behind that. Is there injuries in certain games? How do you get that so-called best defense in the league? But the Eagles are the best overall defense ranked. I think they have the best team after them on overall defense. I don't even think they're even in the playoffs. But I think they're like it's over like 30 yards or something like that. Like the Eagles, or if it's accurate, that means they're really, 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 really solid on defense. But the Rams, their defense looked really good. They were getting to what the hell's his name? Sam Darnold. Yeah, that's his name. Sam Darnold. They were getting to Sam Darnold often in that game, but so were the Lions. That was kind of the problem then, too. So the offensive line of the Minnesota Vikings is questionable. The Eagles definitely have one of the better offensive lines in the league. That's why they can generate big holes for Saquon Barkley to run and even Gaineswell. This game scares me. I just want the Eagles to win this game, even if it's a close game, if it's by 1 point or even like a field goal, 3 points. I just want to win this game. I was kind of disgusted by last week's game, but this game I really respect the Rams. So in the sense that, like, if we win a close one, who cares? I don't want our fan base to don't even cry. Like, Eagles fan base, if the Eagles win this game and it's just a close game, don't be upset because this is a very, very good Rams team. And they're very motivated. You know, everybody knows what's happening in Los Angeles right now. I don't have to go into that really. But we all know what's happening in Los Angeles right now. I don't know if that might give them a little bit extra motivation, but I still think the Eagles are a better rounded team. I think we have better pieces overall. The Rams do have very strong receiving core. Their defense is pretty strong. But I think overall the Eagles are a better team. Specifically, our running game is one of the best running games in the league. I think it is the best running game in the league, actually, technically, stats-wise for Saquon, and maybe some little bit of Gaineswell. I don't know how much he's gotten yards percentage. I know that Saquon's having an insane year, and after that, I think it would probably be Derrick Henry, if I had to guess. But, yeah, I got the Eagles this game. I am scared. I'm very worried. because I don't fully trust our coach. I don't know how good Nick Sirianni really is, because on the other side we have Sean. What's his name? Sean. I'm bad with names. Not Sean Dormant. That's the other guy for the Bills. Sean McVay. Sean McVay. He's around my age. I think he is my age. Yeah, he's still fairly young. I mean, like, he's below 40, but we all get old, so that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But yeah, Sean McVay, he's a Super Bowl winning coach. He went to the Super Bowl twice. Nick Sirianni only went once, and he lost that one with the Eagles. It was a very close one, and some people say there's controversy because wasn't that ball a little bit overthrown maybe, but then Mahomes is crying for a penalty. But that's the past, and this is the present, and we got to win this game. I don't care how we win this game. If it's a close game, who cares? If they win by dominance, which is possible too. I don't know. I'm frustrated about the game against the Packers. I was expecting the Eagles to put more points. Actually, the defense played better in that Packers game than I thought they were going to play. I thought the defense would give up like 17 points. They only give up 10 points. I don't know what the yardage percentage is. I don't care about any of that. All I care about is points at the net. Oh, yeah, and I think the Packers missed a field goal in that game, so it could have easily been 13 points for the Packers in that game. But their field goal kicker missed a kick, I think. But also, yeah, that always changes the game. I don't know. I'm moving on. I got my team winning this game. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm going to imagine there's going to be people picking the upset in this game because they see what the Rams can do. The Rams are a really, really solid team. I got to go with my team. I got to have faith. I'm going with my team. Talk too long about this game. The next game we have is the Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. Even though this is in Buffalo, this is going to be the only game where I'm picking against the home team. I don't really respect the Bills' defense. I don't respect that. I think the Ravens can run on their defense. I think it's a weak spot in the Bills. I think the Ravens can control time possession of the ball. For that, I think they are. I think the Ravens' offense is going to be out there a lot more often than the Bills' offense. I could easily see the Ravens win this by 10 points or more, honestly. And I know Bills fans are going to hate me for that. You can hate me. You can even pick against my team. You can pick the Rams over my team. I don't care. This is just how I feel. I just think the Bills are very weak on the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, the Bills are pretty strong. They're a pretty strong team. They also have a decent running back, I think. I forget his name. Is it Dalvin Cook? He used to be the Minnesota Vikings running back, and I remember him being really solid. So, yeah, the Bills have it's football. Either way, but I got to favor the team that I think is better overall, and I think the Ravens' defense is starting to click a little bit more. I like Derrick Henry. I like Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson doesn't get talked about enough. I think sometimes people say, Josh Allen, he's the MVP. And I think that we'll find out who the real... Well, you can't really say it because Josh Allen does have on the defensive side of the ball, I feel like that's kind of hurting Josh. Like, if he had more of a defense on his team, I think he could go farther in the playoffs that way. But when you compare these two defenses, I think the Ravens have a better defense. And I think I would take the Ravens' run game too. Dalvin Cook isn't bad. He's a pretty solid running back. But let's see. Would you pick Derrick Henry? Who would you want for your running back? Would you want Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook? I don't even know their stats fully because I didn't look that up. But I'm pretty sure Derrick Henry probably has better stats overall for running. I picked Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry is a beast. And Derrick Henry was always on that stinky Tennessee Titans team that he carried all the time. And I think he's hungry. I think he wants to be in the Super Bowl. I think he wants to win a Super Bowl. Everybody wants to win a Super Bowl, right? I'm with the Baltimore Ravens. I'm sorry, Buffalo fans. I know I'm picking out... these are my picks. I don't know. It's my picks. If you don't like my picks, I'm sorry about that. I know I'm offending people right now. But these are all 8 great teams. They can go either way a lot of times. I'm not an expert. You saw in my previous video, I messed up big time, so I could be wrong on all these picks. Maybe the games all go the opposite way. You never know, you know what I mean? Anyways, yeah, so to recap quickly, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, my brownies are almost done. My brownies are almost done. Kansas City Chiefs. I have the Kansas City Chiefs over the Texans. I have the Detroit Lions over the Redskins, and I do think the Lions will dominate in this game to some extent. I think they win by 2 touchdowns at least. I think the Lions are a special team on the offensive side of the ball. I think their defense can contain some of the things that the Redskins want to do. It's going to take a juggernaut to stop the Lions, and I think that juggernaut is going to either be the Eagles or the Rams. But even then or something like that, I'm not confident in that because, again, all these teams are talented. Anything can happen in the playoffs. The ball bounces a certain way. Like if they don't punt it the right way, if somebody misses a field goal, which is what I'm kind of scared about with the Eagles, stuff like that, because our field goal kicker, who's also our punter, he missed the extra point the other day. But I don't think that was like the worst thing he did. But it was like if the Packers ended up starting to put up a fight against us later on in the game, that could have came back to bite us in the ass, and I was worried about that at that time. Like heading in that game, I wasn't really nervous. I was all calm. I was like, we got this in the bag. And then when the games go on, it was actually more intense than I expected. Like it was 10-0 for a while, which is not a big lead. I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm all incoherent right now. It's early in the morning. I probably gotta get some sleep soon or something like that. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. And good luck to all your teams out there. Unless you're the Los Angeles Rams. If you're a Los Angeles Rams fan, I gotta go with my Eagles. Bye-bye now. You'll be good.